Hello, good afternoon. This is Ed doing my presentation for Powercast Standards. The subject I chose today will AI and the need for video editors. So, starting out, um, AI has made its way into many industries today, and one such industry is, of course, the media world, television, movies, and such. And one role that has always been in those worlds is the editor role. However, many editors currently are worried about the way that AI has been making its way into that job market. However, it doesn't mean that they'll disappear or should the role just change. Currently, what AI has been seen in terms of good and bad in editing world is there is a reduction in editing times. It could used to be cut down on hours spent on a project. It's become more accessible to a wider audience and it's become cost efficient. Uh, well, some applications, of course, but some others are pretty pricey. However, there is the over dependence on the technology, which could lead to many non non experienced editors, so to speak. There's also the lack of creative insight when it comes to putting the pieces of the project together because it's always a team effort and the job concern is always a prime priority, of course. Now, what humans have been doing in terms of the position occupied, the editing role, most people think of editing as putting clips together to form a scene and then forming those scenes into a larger project. But someone in those editing roles, they'll tell you something, it's a little bit more complicated than that. Of course, they have to take into account, they do that in terms of putting scenes together, but they also have to take into account music, effects, lighting. They have to find out which scenes look the best in terms of telling the story. The usage of software in the AI world is nothing new. Sites like Pro Tools, Avid, DaVinci, these have been used for years at this point, and they're really being taught to aspiring editors. With the software, in terms of AI applications, it's something completely different. See, what AI editing does is it's been feeding information from multiple editors over hundreds of different movies and films, and they see which editing style looks best. But editing tools using AI, they could also stabilize video footage, they could fix color grading, they could add subtitles, and they could even move the best looking footage the top of to the top of the shelf in terms of speaking, so that way the editor doesn't have to sift through hours and hours of footage to find the best one, which one looks best for a scene. Now, of course, back to the main question: will they be replaced? Well, many editors they're optimistic. They say currently no. It's limitations, of course, but the best models they can't keep up with years of expertise from a single individual. There's one thing, however, that they agree that it shouldn't replicate is the way that stories are told. Editors, they are artists in their own right. They're storytellers because they form together a broken puzzle and they make it an image, so to speak. They put dozens of scenes together, they make a movie, along with help and insight from the director, of course. So while AI applications can follow patterns that they've analyzed or they've been fed, these applications won't replace, but they'll change the way editing is done. They should aid editors in decreasing the time that they spend on repetitive tasks, syncing audio and creating rough draft layouts, such like that. Whilst editors will be able to focus on the direction they want the story to go, they could sharpen up a different style of editing, and they could find the right music, for example, or right soundtrack, and they will add it into the narratives. That way it fits together more tight. So will AI end the need? Ideally, not for a long time. The programs develop it should not replace real editors. But media like film and television, they need a touch of emotion as the main point. The best hope for the future is ideally AI should be used as a tool to allow editors to learn how to enhance their skills and increase their creativity. Thank you.